Hi there, Prairie Plant Girl here. So today I'm tending to my peppers. I haven't done a whole lot with them since I planted them, other than just try and give them a little bit of better staking and support and protect them from all the wind we've been having. But I really need to give them some attention because a lot of them are trying to fruit. Some of them have set a lot of fruit, and I need to kind of go through and take the fruit off of some of them because they're not growing up and they're just setting fruit right away. And I want them to be putting more energy into growing a larger plant and then setting fruit, you know, more into July. It's June 16th today. A lot of these peppers, I mean, we have a short growing season. I'm zone 3, Saskatchewan, Canada. So a lot of these peppers need a long time setting their fruit, but they do need to be able to put some growth on and get a nice healthy plant to support the fruit as well. So I thought I'd bring you along and just kind of show you what I'm doing. I'm by no means a pepper expert, but this is what I kind of like to do to try and get the best production I can out of my peppers. So come on and we'll have a look at what's going on in my pepper patch here today. So this first pot that I want to look at has my Hungarian Hot Wax and my Sugar Rush Peach peppers in. I started both of these peppers extremely early indoors. It was February 19th is when I put the first seeds into the soil for these plants. There's 2 Hungarian Hot Wax and 2 Sugar Rush Peach in this planter. And I think you can see that they've gotten to be a pretty nice size. And in my climate especially, this is really nice to see this kind of growth on the peppers at this point in the year. But again, they were started extremely early. The rest of my peppers were not started that early. So they have set a lot of fruit, and I removed a good deal of it when I planted these. I think all of it, and most of the flowers when I planted them. This plant here, this is a Hungarian Hot Wax, and it's a nice size and it's full fruit, and I'm going to leave it alone. But I'm going to bring you around to this side over here and have a look at the pepper growing behind it and show you the difference. So hopefully you have a really good view here of the difference between these 2 plants. So even though they were started at the same time, this one has come up to this point here. It's gotten quite large and it's filled out, it's branched out. I topped these several months ago and they've branched out for me. But this one over here, I can't even see a spot where I had even topped it. It just split on its own. It's starting to branch at the bottom, but it's not really putting on a lot of growth up at the top here, but it's really wanting to put out fruit. There's, I think, 5 peppers on it and another flower that has been pollinated. There's another pepper right there. So I'm going to come in and take all of these off. Oh, there might even be another pollinated flower over here. Yeah, so I'm going to take all of these off. There's another little one down in the bottom here. There's one on the side. So there, I've taken 5 peppers. 3 were getting to be a decent size and 2 were just beginning. And then there was actually a couple of pollinated flowers that I popped off as well, and I don't know where they fell. But this is, you know, quite a bit of fruit coming off of here. But the plant really isn't growing very large. You know, it needs to get the leaf growth in here so it can, you know, be photosynthesizing and getting lots of energy. I mean, I am fertilizing from the roots, but it just needs more growth to be a stronger plant, I think, to be able to produce good, healthy fruit. This other plant, you can see the difference, you know, in the fruit is getting nice and wide and fat and starting to mature. It's looking like a lot nicer fruit coming on. So I think this larger plant is better able to sustain the fruiting process than this little one is. So let's go around to the Sugar Rush Peach. I'll do that I'll have a look at those real quick. We'll go around, look at a couple more, and then I'm just going to get on and do the rest. So we're a little in the shadows here with the Sugar Rush Peach, just because the way the sun is right now, and hopefully you're able to see this well enough without the sun shining in your face. But like this plant, there's two plants here and they're both quite large. This one's getting here. The Sugar Rush Peach, I believe, can grow like around 3 feet tall or something like that. It's my first year growing it, so I don't have a lot of experience with it. But it looks like it's gotten to be a pretty good size for what I would expect, especially for my climate and growing season. And the one on the other side is quite tall as well. So when they were a little bit smaller, I had removed the fruit and the flowers, and I planted them and given them a chance to grow. And they've said all this, but they've also put on a lot of growth since they've been here, as you know, as the plant itself. So I think I'm going to leave these alone and just let them set their fruit. They take a really long time for the fruit to come to maturity, from what I've been told. So I think I'll just leave these. Like I said, I feel like they've gotten really big and bushy and nice and tall and putting on lots of great growth. So I think these two are okay, and I'm going to leave them alone. So in this pot, I have 3 mystery sweet Annam peppers, and there's one over here, and it's putting on some smaller, what looks like it's going to be a bell pepper type fruit, but it has lots of large bushy growth. It's branching out, it's getting taller. This, I'm okay with this. I'm going to leave this one alone. Then I have 2, there's one here and one here, and they're just kind of looking kind of stunted. And this one I know has put on at least 2 peppers. This one I don't know if it has any on it. I don't think there's any on this, so we'll just leave it. Hopefully it continues to branch out and get taller. This one's really stunted and already put in fruit, so I'm definitely going to remove the fruit from there. So that's what came off of there. So like I said, it's trying to put out some pretty good sized fruit already, and it hasn't even really put on any growth. You can see it back there. It's a pretty puny little plant there. Now, like I said, these 3 peppers are mystery seed peppers. That was just a fun pack I got from the grower. So if any of you want to start venturing guesses to what I'm growing here, put it in the comments down below. Okay, so I'm going to continue going through. I have 5 more large pots like this of peppers, and then I actually have some smaller pots with individual plants in them behind me. So I'm going to continue going through my plants, assessing them in that same way. I mean, look at this tiny little plant here. Luckily, it's not trying to set fruit yet. But I'm going to be going through, assessing them the same way, removing the peppers if I feel that it needs that done, and then I'll show you what I wind up with in the end. This is Antohi Romanian. And this is Sweet Banana. Back here I have Jalapeno. This is mini bell peppers. This is sweet lipstick. I want to show you something that I see here with the sweet lipstick that needs to be addressed as well. So sweet lipstick tends to be a bit more of an elongated pepper, but sometimes when peppers are first forming peppers early on, they'll form kind of odd-shaped peppers, and the general advice is to remove those because they tend to be misshapen and never kind of develop properly, and they're taking energy away from peppers that are going to produce the way they're supposed to. So I have, I think, 3 it looks like here that have developed kind of odd. They were probably the first peppers that came on. Maybe I missed them when I planted it out, or maybe they came after I planted it, but they're just not looking right. So, oh, there's another one down here. And actually, what I'm seeing is there's two plants together. So I wonder if one of them is actually not a sweet lipstick. Because I think I saved these seeds, so maybe it had crossed with something else. I'll have to look back at that, see if I can find my records on that. But there's 4 that look very globe-shaped and not like a sweet lipstick. So I took the peppers off. We'll see now what this plant does. If it continues to want to grow those round peppers, maybe I have an imposter in here that I didn't know about. And then I have another sweet lipstick here, but it hasn't put any fruit on yet, and it's quite small. This is my California Wonder. There's actually several plants in here. Let's see how big they are. This is an all right size plant, so I'll leave it. It has a couple on it. There's a much smaller plant beside it. Maybe not much smaller, but it is smaller. So I'm going to take the fruit off of this one. I'm also going to take these damaged leaves off. So this is my King of the North. If I remember last year, the King of the North took a while to get going, but then produced quite well. These are the jalapenos. Just a few wind damaged leaves. A couple plants coming in really nicely here. Those are the ones that have the fruit on them, so I'm going to leave them alone. So I'm hoping that you can see these peppers. There's a big tomato here. Big blush cherry tomato. But then there's these peppers. There's one here. And there's one over here. And I think you can see both of those. It's a little shadowy. This is candy cane pepper. And this one actually has the variegation on the leaves. This isn't disease. This pepper is known to do this. And then here's one of the peppers. So I'm not sure how big these plants are supposed to get, but I feel like this one has quite a bit of leaf growth, but it hasn't gotten really tall yet. So I think I'm going to take this larger fruit off. So this pepper is new to me this year, and this has a really interesting shape. You can already see some of the variegation starting on there. So hopefully you can see that. It's kind of a different shape to it, and there's just the smallest hint. Where did I see it? Right in the crease here, the smallest hint of variegation in the color already looking like it wants to form. So these are supposed to be a variegated pepper, but I think this plant just needs to put a little more growth. These are a longer maturing variety, so I don't want to slow down their process too much, but I'm going to take this leaf that this one looks damaged. That's not variegation. So this plant is just a little larger. This one on this side is a little larger than the plant over here, and it has one fruit on it. But it is definitely put on more leaf growth and just a little more height. So I think I'm going to leave that fruit. Like I said, this is a long maturing pepper. Let's see if I can show you that one little fruit in there. It's so shadowy on this side. There's one right here. Over here is early prolific. And this plant is looking really nice and big and strong. It's just starting to set one fruit there, so I think I'll leave that. Nice big healthy leaf growth. And this plant is a little bit smaller. And I'll just take off a couple. couple of the flower buds here that are trying to go, and just get it to think more about putting on some growth of the plant here. So along this bed here, I have one plant in each of these little pots here, and I don't have one of every plant that I'm growing, but I believe I have eight. I have 8 pots here of plants that are growing, and most of them are looking really good and doing really well, but I'm just going to go through them real quick and have a look. You can see definitely a fruit coming, but some of these are a nice size already. What's this? Sweet banana. This is Xanthoe Romanian. I'm going to take off the dead or damaged leaves, but it has some nice growth going on it. This is another Sugar Rush peach. This was my weak Sugar Rush peach when I planted it here, and it still isn't doing as well as the other ones in the large pot, but it's really caught up. It was very spindly. I didn't actually expect it to survive. I can tell it's needing some water, so I'll have to get on that. It's been really windy and hot here, but it's setting lots of fruit and it's putting on lots of growth, so I think I'll leave this alone. Here's my early prolific, and again, pretty nice growth. This is actually 2 plants, it looks like, in here, or else it has split at the bottom. It might be 2 plants. It's pretty good growth, and it's just starting to set fruit, so we'll leave that one alone. This is a sweet lipstick. It's not a huge plant. It might be 2 plants. Yeah, it might be 2 plants in there. It is starting to set one fruit here, but I think just because it's not a real huge plant, I think I'll take that fruit off. Has more flowers coming, we'll let it do its thing there. This must be candy cane, yeah, because we have some variegation in the leaf here. Again, it looks like I wound up with 2 plants in this one. Some fruit coming. I don't know what to think of this one. I'll take off the damaged. Where's that leaf come from? Damaged leaf. And I don't know. I'm going to leave this one. They're the same size. This one's already set fruit. This one hasn't. We'll see what happens between the 2 of them there. Here we have a Hungarian Hot Wax. It's a pretty puny plant, but it's not trying to even set fruit. It has a couple flowers. I'll take the largest off. The rest are just starting to bud up, so see what that does there. It has lots of new growth starting to come. Take these couple damaged leaves so it's not sending energy to those. And then this is a jalapeno, and look at this, is a nice good sturdy plant. Again, some damaged leaves. The reason I take those off is just so it's not trying to send energy to those leaves, and can worry about new growth that's a healthier leaf. It's a nice looking plant. It hasn't, it's just barely starting to set some buds there, but so that's a nice plant. So that's what I wound up taking off. So not a lot, but you know, it'll help these plants that were setting these fruit. I mean, these are pretty good size, most of them already, for the size of the plants they were growing on. So by removing these peppers off those plants, it'll help to get those peppers putting more energy into the leaves and the roots, and just becoming a stronger plant so that they can grow better and healthier peppers with more production. Whereas when I'm having just these few early peppers like this on a small plant, I might just get these couple of peppers, and that plant might have used up all its energy and be done. If I let the plant get larger and stronger, I should get more peppers in the end. Now, it's always a little bit of a gamble here in my climate. We have 110 frost-free days on average, and we're already about 25 days into that. So that doesn't give it a lot of time for these plants to produce their peppers and get them to maturity before the frosts come and take the plants out. But I think it's worth the gamble. You saw I didn't do every single plant. Some of them I left the peppers on. You know, I tried to be a little bit choosy in that way. And I think in a cold climate, it doesn't hurt to to just leave a few on there just in case, if you have enough plants to do that. But these are still edible. These aren't wasted. You can eat these. That's that one that was supposed to be a sweet lipstick, but was really round, and then I realized it was a separate plant. That has a very much just like a green bell pepper kind of flavor to it. So I'm wondering if a seed got in the wrong spot or what happened there. I don't think that's even a sweet lipstick pepper. But I mean, when they're green, they do taste different. But this has a very distinct, not just a green pepper taste, this is a very distinct bell pepper kind of taste to it. Sorry, I don't usually eat on camera, but it is quite delicious. So anyways, I'll take these in. I'll probably cut them up into a salad or something, or stir fry them into something, and I'll use these. But I just thought that it might be helpful to see what I do with my peppers. And I thought some of you might like an update on how they're looking since I planted them out. So I'm definitely needing to go and water the ones in the small pots. These are on drip irrigation, and I just ran it yesterday, but the small pots maybe got missed. They were put away in my greenhouse. It was so windy, and I was gone yesterday, so I just put them away just to protect them from the high winds yesterday. But I'm going to get some water in those. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, why not give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button if you haven't done that. Share this with anyone that you think could use this information, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye. I finished this pepper when I was cleaning up. Found a few more that had dropped out of the wires on my basket there, but I finished this up, and it has a distinct bell pepper flavor at first, but after a minute there's just the slightest heat in the back of my throat now. I wouldn't call it a hot pepper by any means. There might be a cross happening there. I'm going to keep an eye on that plant. That's going to be interesting to see.